Welcome to another episode of Ion Sullivan. I am Mike McGuire, your host, joined today, as we are each week, by the chairman, Rob Doherty. Rob, spring has sprung in the Catskills.
It's a little warm. I mean, yesterday was, in the high 70s. Today's in the 70s. It's nice.
It's beautiful weather. Today you had a little bit of warm rain. I know how much you like that.
I do like warm rain.
It's all good. So, to a little bit of news here in the county.
Okay.
The airport, they're ready to open the new terminal at the airport.
Well, that's exciting.
That's very, very exciting. Thanks to your leadership. It's rare when somebody comes and we need to make improvements to the old terminal, and we estimated at $5 million. And with your leadership, we got $18.5 million out of the state, and we built a brand new terminal. Correct.
It only cost the county $2 million. But to have an updated facility with restaurant facilities in there that will track people, one of the things that people don't understand is that with an updated terminal, a lot of people will stop, gas up here, and they have pilot facilities in there also, and you'll be able to move around the county, and our county. Our airport would get a lot busier. I remember one person had wrote when it all came out a couple of years back. They were like, "I live right next to the county." I was like, "I live 2 miles from the county."
Right.
I mean, from the airport. I mean, like, what are you talking about? If it affects me, just like it affects you.
No, it's a state of the art facility, and accolades go out to Kristen Janowski.
Oh, again,
just a superstar in her design team, headed up by Todd Anderson, who's done an absolutely magnificent job. And they brought this thing in on budget and within the 2-year limit that the state gave them to build it, which is unheard of.
I think it's September 1st is the deadline.
Well, for us, the deadline is May 31st.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, May 31st is the deadline for us because we got the actual contract approval came in May of 2023.
Oh, that's right. We had all those special meetings,
We had all those special meetings, and we don't like special meetings.
Well, they just had about 5 of them on the 20-bed facility that they're trying to shove down your throat.
And here's a piece of news.
Okay.
Also in the airport.
Okay.
Hatsola Air, which you're familiar with.
Great organization.
They're an air ambulance company, and because they are on a 24-hour standby, it's understandable that they have pilots staying there to be ready to respond anywhere in the world on a moment's notice.
Correct.
The FAA told us that under the prior FAA administration, we couldn't have anybody staying there at all. They didn't want any part of it. They didn't want any part of Hatsola.
Now, if you recall, they want to build a $40 million facility.
They had the money. They were ready to go, and the FAA under the Biden administration wanted no part of it. And this is an agency that is become world-renowned for the work that they did, particularly when the Ukrainian war broke out.
Correct.
They were delivering humanitarian aid and supplies from through Poland to the Ukraine, and from London to there, and then from Israel to Ukraine. And then when the war in Gaza broke out, they actually had Ellie Rowe, who is the genius behind Hatsola Air, enlisted in the Israeli Air Force to volunteer to fly rescue missions in a war zone.
Unbelievable.
And that's not the kind of company that the FAA under the Biden administration would have wanted occupying one of our airports.
Well, some legislators didn't want them occupying.
Many of the legislators didn't.
Correct.
Some of them were not legislators at the time, but now they are. And the FAA found that the agreement that they have with the county is in all respects proper now. So,
hold on. Wait a second. Wait. So it is legal, and it's not a giveaway.
It's not a giveaway.
Oh, okay.
And they point out in the decision that they're an emergency air rescue agency and should be treated differently from a for-profit organization that wants to build on the grounds.
Because Ellie originally, when they were going to spend the $40-50 million that they had money in hand, keep that in mind, they were treating the pilots as firemen. Okay.
Correct.
So the idea was that they stay here, they live here, they go about their business here, and when it's time to go, they can jump in a jet and go anywhere in the world, right? And that was the plan.
That's right. And they literally go anywhere in the world.
Correct. And then they wanted to make a hangar to have some of the bigger jets so that they didn't have to stop, oddly enough, I believe in Greenland. To gas up. And they could go, from here straight to Israel or anywhere in Europe. And the Biden administration said no to that. And now the decision is that they are allowed to do that.
Well, and certain members of our legislature took the position that, we don't really want these people here.
Correct.
And they were purchasing in Westchester County about 500,000 gallons of fuel a year.
We don't need that money. We're sitting on $87 million that last guy left us.
And now they've got 2 more helicopters and 3 more jets that they're using. And so that 500,000 gallons is probably 750,000 gallons.
Correct.
And I remember a wise person once said that we can make this airport profitable.
That crazy person.
And if you have that kind of a regular tenant there,
correct,
it would be operating.
And not only that, it would attract other tenants.
And attract maybe
I have
an
an idea. How many tenants have come in since the legislature has taken a stance against them?
There has not been a new tenant there since Alan Gary built his hangar about 30 years ago.
Oh, there you go. Great job, folks.
But they're out marketing, and it's going to be great. So one of the reasons that it's so great that we have a 6,200-foot runway and a great airport is we have lots of private aircraft come into the airport, and one of the places that they service is Bethel Woods.
So that's funny that you say that. One day we were up at the airport talking with Ellie and some other fine folks about their facility, and Pitbull.
Yeah, that's right.
Lands. And he's, maybe a couple hundred yards from us.
Yep.
And he gets off the plane, and he gets off his plane, and gets into a car, and he goes off to Bethel Woods to do a show. And that's how it works.
You get a lot of them there.
Yeah. The country singers tend to go in these, bus situations.
Right.
But the other guys don't really do that.
I remember Brad Paisley did fly in there.
Yeah.
He flew in and out, but many of the others do not. So today we've got a special guest.
All right.
A young man who is familiar with Bethel Woods, and their season gets underway in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, on the weekend of the 24th.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of new things happening at Bethel Woods,
That's
so
8
we
days,
thought it'd
by
be a
the
good
way.
idea.
Yeah.
I didn't really know any of the folks out there, so we had this young man come in today. I met him in the hallway. Just
Did
we were
ya?
talking. You introduced us.
Well, he was hugging your wife, so I figured that
He was doing that. He was doing that. So we are very happy to welcome to Ion Sullivan, the director of logistics.
Wow.
The director of the...
That sounds like a serious job.
Of the campgrounds, and he's shaking his head no, so I screwed that one up already. And the...
I have an idea.
Director...
I have an idea. Why don't we just let him speak, and he can tell us what he does there.
He could tell us, because I'd like to know what the hell do you do there. Carl McGuire.
Hey, Dad. How you doing?
Good. It's a good thing he said it, because he called that woman he was hugging Mom.
Yeah, exactly. So that worked out.
How it works.
So tell us about what you do.
I am the campground and logistics manager.
Manager.
There's a difference now.
All right.
Director's a higher pay scale.
Wow.
All right. Well, Eric, you understand director.
Yeah.
Come on.
We're working on it.
right.
Maybe in the next 10 years. I've been working at Bethel Woods for 10 years now. I started there when I was 10 years. Yeah, when I was 15. And it's a beautiful place. I love it. I come back every year, and I got my full-time position 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've been the manager of the logistics team, and after a couple of years.
And what exactly does the logistics team do?
So the logistics team, we set up everything on the site. All the tents, all of the garbage cans, the chairs, furniture. Every
So when there's an event there, and beyond concerts, right? So when they have like that food thing,
we have a lot of events.
All right, so you have a lot of events there.
Yeah.
It's a great facility. Speaking of Alan Gary, and then so every tent, every table, every chair, every garbage can, that's you.
That's me.
Right,
That's me and my crew. We're responsible for setting it out and picking it up afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what is now the campground's new, correct?
The campground's new. They came to me with the job offer to run the campground, to be the campground manager, and I took it, and I've been running with it since.
Not realizing what it was.
Not realizing how much work it was going to be, but I'm signed up now, so I got to strap in and get it done.
So Eric had given me a tour. Have you ever taken a tour of the campground?
I have not. I don't know anybody who operates it.
So they had given us a tour. I mean, I believe I saw you on the tour.
I'm sure you did.
I saw you on
He
the tour.
was a stop on the tour.
Yeah. No, he wasn't a stop. But we were driving around. It was myself, George Conklin, and Eric, and we were driving around. And he was showing us the tent. It wasn't operational yet. Mm-hmm. And then he was like trying to explain how the whole thing was going to work. And I was like, wow, this, it seems logical. I mean, your shows are during the warmer months, and now that thing fills up, I imagine, correct?
Well, it definitely fills up on concert nights, on the bigger shows.
So now in 1969, you had a campground there, whether they liked it or not.
Yeah.
And so really the spirit of Woodstock lives through camping there.
My father-in-law worked for the town highway department during Woodstock.
Right.
And the day after Woodstock, when Jimi Hendrix was, singing a song or two. And he was picking up blankets, for like 3 days in a row. I mean,
looking for the highways.
They were like, it was quite the cleanup.
Herd Road at that time was a cow path.
It was a cow path.
I remember Sam Yasgur telling me that the site where the concert was, which is now like the Museum Hill, that was an old alfalfa field. And he says, my father didn't care about that. He just was an alfalfa field.
Yeah.
And I mean, now it's like a golf course. So we had the golf course. We'll get to that. We had the campground opened last year. And when in 1969, there was tent camping, there was blanket camping, and there was mud wrestling.
Yeah.
And that was the different types of camping you had there.
Well,
there might have been some mushroom camping also.
Well, I believe that you were only taking half a hit of a certain acid because Mr. Garcia from the Grateful Dead was telling you only take a half of the brown acid.
The brown acid.
Yeah.
Don't take the brown acid.
Don't take the brown acid.
Only take a half a hit, he said.
Yeah.
He said only take a half a hit.
So tell us, Carl, walk us through the improvements since 1969 in the camping opportunities at Bethel Woods.
Well, so let's start at the base level. It's car camping. That is essentially just a 30 by 30 square in the field, and you get to park your car there, and you and 4 people get to stay there. And
can you take a tent with you there?
Oh yeah. You set up as many tents as you'd like in this 30 by 30 area.
Okay. And are there any fights there? Like, you're in my line.
We
that's
are
my line.
we are ground zero for peace and love. So there's no fights. But no, it's clearly lined.
And now the bathroom facilities there.
Oh, they're brand new.
Really?
We got brand new. They're almost like futuristic porta potties to where you go in. We have running water, hot water, shower.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they even have AC in there.
Really?
And it's a small pod is what it looks like. And,
oh, wow.
And yeah, they're really cool. They're really clean. It's easy to clean for our housekeeping staff.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, no, they're great bathrooms.
So now you have a 30 by 30, and you.
Oh, no bathrooms on the site.
No. But I'm saying
no intentional bathrooms.
Yeah.
That's right.
So now you have your 30 by 30, and you pitch a tent and a couple of your buddies and blah blah blah, and then I'm sure it goes higher. There's another scale.
Oh yeah. There's many scales.
Okay.
Let's keep going through them. And then. We on that same side of the road. It's across the field from the actual concert venue. It's across West Shore Road. It's on Best Road. Actually, we call it the historic campground because historically that's where they camped in 1969.
Correct.
So we also offer.
Just interrupt you real fast. Now, according to urban legend here in Bethel, that's where they staged the participants of rock bands and stuff.
That was right across from where they actually had the concert.
Okay.
So that's closer to Herd Road.
Okay.
Up that way. In
Okay.
that field, that is where they landed helicopters
yep.
and did all that. This was a little bit more down the road.
Oh, okay.
Going towards Happy.
Yeah.
It's over on that side, and we have pictures from back in the day, and that whole field was car.
So the
VW
staging
buses.
area then would be closer to where like the Harvest Fest is.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Mike Nicosia's house.
Right by Mike Nicosia's
That's
house.
actually my office now.
Yeah.
That's actually his office.
That's my office. Yeah.
Right.
So going back to the other levels of camping, we have on the historic side RV camping. And
really?
These come with full hookups. We do not have a sewage hookup yet, but we are getting a dump station.
Okay.
But full water, full electric, and it's on a gravel pad, and it's 30 by 60 feet. So
That's pretty big.
it's a big spot. It's
by
much bigger
60,
than
yeah.
other campgrounds.
I mean, it's 1,800 square feet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's big.
And,
It's big.
so you can,
Yeah.
and you can. No one's telling you can't set up a tent there too. So if you had the kids and they wanted to stay outside in the tent
Yeah, look at the stars.
and look at the stars,
yeah.
you absolutely can do that.
Oh, wow, look at that. That's crazy.
So yeah,
And then do you have the fees for that? I mean, how much does it cost to...
yeah. So for the show nights, the RV camping runs around $170 to
I think that's fair.
$180.
Very reasonable.
And it changes depending on the concert.
Yeah.
Car camping is about $100.
That's fair, though.
Or $100 I think, or 80 something. It depends on the show.
Yep.
But when you split it 4 ways, that's nothing.
Well, I hope you're paying for your girlfriend here.
Well,
I'm just asking a question. Maybe that's why you're 25 and single. I'm just saying.
26 now. Own insurance.
I was married at 26, so obviously I was paying my wife.
You were paying for her
I was
campsite.
paying her
That's
campsite.
right. Yep.
Not that my wife would ever camp.
So that's on our historic side, on the best road side
Okay.
of camping. Going to the in-venue camping, or we call it now pavilion camping.
Okay.
We have a basic glamping option, which is essentially just like a bell tent. I don't know if you've ever seen those
I did see
online. It
I've
looks.
been
Oh,
on
you've
the
been there.
site.
That's right. You've been
I
there.
tore.
Dad didn't see that, but for
Yep.
everyone listening, it's essentially just like a teepee tent,
Yeah.
one of those yurt tents, you'd call it. And they come. We can either do a 2 twin bed option
Wow.
or 1 queen bed option if you are with your wife.
Yeah.
If you have paid for your girlfriend,
Yeah, if
you
you
get
paid
the
for
queen
it.
bed option. If you have not, you get the twin bed option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those will run you around $200 to $230.
And now, so you can walk from there to your seat.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's really
Oh
close.
man, that's worth every penny.
It's worth every penny, and being able to leave the venue and go use the camper bathrooms. I don't know if you've ever been to a concert at Bethel Woods, but those
been there.
bathrooms get pretty crowded during the intermission.
I'm gonna, I go to the VIP section.
I see.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Higher- White glove service. over there.
Yeah.
So you can stay in the camp area,
Yeah.
come over to the pavilion, and go back to the camp all during the show.
As many times as you'd like.
Wow,
Yep.
So
that's
here,
tremendous.
I mean, so it's $220. You said, like, let's say if we're
$220. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you get some lawn seats. Or how much are lawn seats these days?
Lawn seats are $10 a pop.
$10 a pop. All right.
Well,
That's
that's
the
not
seat
for-
itself. For it to get in the general admission to the lawn area, it depends on the show, but that's anywhere from $50 to $70.
I mean, for $500.
Yeah.
Right.
You got a great night.
I mean, you gotta have a pretty good night.
Yeah.
I mean, this is ideal.
Absolutely. So that's our basic glamping. We also have the luxury glamping, which these.
If I was to glamp, that's the way I would go.
It's hard to call it camping. It's the closest thing to just staying in a cabin. It is a tent, but
Okay.
this tent. You saw them.
Yeah.
They have heat,
Yeah.
AC, running water, showers. Wi-Fi, refrigerator, coffee maker.
Yeah.
I mean, and we do a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom option.
Wow.
For those,
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
those glamping tents.
Yeah, they're really nice, and they're way up on the hill.
And they're way up on the hill.
Yeah, it looks
so
great.
for some of them, they're the closest thing to the actual pavilion. And for the one row of them, you could actually look out the back window and see the pavilion.
Nice.
That's how close it is.
And how much is one of them for?
So the one-bedroom.
Ballpark.
The 1-bedroom is $500, 2-bedroom $650, and then the 3-bedroom is $750.
I did not make the pricing schedule. I would make them more because, I mean, if you're sharing, I mean, you know.
So that price includes the price to get in the show?
No.
So you don't get a ticket to the show.
No, you buy your ticket separately, and then you'd buy the camping ticket separately.
So then there must be a gate of admission from the glamping area into the pavilion
There is.
area.
You have your own private entrance into the venue. So there's no waiting on that line. There's no waiting. You know, you just go right from your camp spot and you walk right into the pavilion.
That's kind of nice.
That's tremendous.
Yeah,
That's tremendous.
I mean, again, I live in Bethel, and when I do go, I go kind of VIP-ish. But I mean, if I did not live here and I wanted to go see a show and, all that fun stuff, I mean, that sounds like a pretty ideal situation.
You and whoever you bring can all have a drink and not have to worry about who's going to be the designated driver. You could all just stay right there. You don't even have to worry about, like, other places around. You stay at the hotel, you got to worry about an Uber now. If you don't want,
that's true.
This
that's
is
true.
just... You just stay there. You can have a good time, party as hard as you want, and then sleep right here at Bethel.
So now last
I
year...
try to sleep in Bethel as often as I can.
You sleep in Bethel most nights.
Most nights.
Even when there's no concert.
Even when there's no concert.
So last year, the campground was open on concert nights.
Correct.
So is that changing for this year?
That's the biggest change we have going into this year.
I think it's a pretty
It's
seismic...
closed on concert nights now.
yeah, that's right.
I think that's a seismic change, though.
It's the biggest change. Now we're not just for concert camping. It's camping any day you want.
Now, when they have camping, can you get food? Can you get,
This year we're putting in a general store, and it's half going to be a general store, and the other half is going to be a cafe concession. A cafeteria type thing.
So if I want to go camping, so let's say the concert I'm going to is on Saturday night, and I'm like, okay, this is why I don't have this, Mike, because let's say you're staying there for 3 days and there's another show there, let's say, so you can't get into that show, right? But you're at your camping area, and then you can hang out there, but you could still listen to it, right?
Yeah.
And then you could, because I used to live on West Shore Road, and you could hear the concert.
Oh, yes,
you can hear the concerts,
loud
right?
and clear.
So when they first opened, like their first year, like the Britney Spears experience,
Taylor Swift came as the warm-up band
For Rascal Flatts.
the Kansas City Chiefs. No, now she's the warm-up band for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
No, she came with Rascal Flatts.
That's right.
Yeah.
And she was the first band. She was the one that came on like at 5:30 when people were just walking in.
Britney Spears was there
Taylor Swift.
when they were still on the bottom there.
Yeah.
On West Shore.
Yeah.
So then you could go there for a couple of days, go camping, mind your own business, and it's not like, oh, I'm busting out my little hibachi grill. There's a place to go eat, and
There's a place to go eat. I don't think that will be open during non-show nights.
Okay.
The general store will be open, but the concession stand and everything, that'll be for those busier nights on the show
and
nights.
now, when you're at that camping site on non-show nights, can you leave the campsite and come back to the campsite?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's just like going down to the river or...
Go down to the river.
Yeah,
I mean,
any
we
place
have
like that.
we have really nice restaurants really close to the campground.
Sure.
Table and Tap,
Sure.
Benji and Jake's.
I'm a fan of Table and Tap. Whenever we go boating, we usually wind up there, and there's like a 2-hour wait, but, we sit down and they just bring drinks, and
It's good food, though.
Yeah, it is good food. The mushroom raviolis with some shrimp is a good time. It's a good time.
So now the nice thing is, other than the car camping, county's getting bed tax for all these campsites.
Thanks to the old county attorney, you are correct.
That's correct. Well, we'll never get over $2 million.
Never have. Remember that negotiation?
Oh,
That
I'll
was
never
great.
forget it. I'll never
Yeah.
forget it.
Yes.
And Eric Francis, for a while, who's
He
the
didn't believe.
CEO, he
He
didn't
didn't
believe.
believe.
He's
He
a
didn't
believer
believe.
now.
He didn't believe.
He's a believer now.
I like Eric Francis a lot. He's a great guy, and I kind of felt bad for him that one day at the legislature. He came in, and I believe he's the new CEO
Yep.
of the Visitors Association. And he came in, and he was perpetrating some false information,
Right. That he was given.
that he was given. He, and as you well know, I come prepared.
Always.
Always, and our relationship started off a little rocky, but then we became very friendly, and I always have a good time when I hang out with Eric Francis. He does a great job, at Bethel Woods.
Well, and he's a real advocate for the community, for the county.
He really is. He really is.
He's always looking for how he can use that venue to work with and assist the county.
Correct.
Which is different from like the other major venue we have in the county, the casino. They're always looking for what they can get from the county.
Well, I don't know if you read Josh Potosik's newsletter.
I didn't, and it'd be great to have him on Ion Sullivan.
Yeah. He does have 9 bosses that may not like that.
They may not like that too much. Well, some of them might not like it. Probably 7 of them.
Well, if it's more than 4, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
So, but he would be ideal. But he talks about how the casino is going to have the problems. But I believe there was a guy that used to work at the county. When they had put the $500 million applications for the casinos.
Right. Yeah.
Openly said in a meeting, I believe on several occasions, that guy, even though you can't see that far in advance.
See that far ahead ever.
Okay. Jacob, am I fading here? I'm pulling away from the microphone. I apologize. So I believe that guy said we should be guaranteed a certain amount of money if they give a license to Westchester.
Correct.
I believe the guy said that, and I said, "Oh, well, the Bardavon gets $800,000, Bethel Woods gets $800,000, and other places, Orange County gets money, and we should get money because below 84 and above Roscoe would basically be our pool.
Would be a pool, but." That person demonstrated that they really were not grounded in reality because they also thought, how silly would this be, that a convention center might help sustain that facility once we've got one in Chemung County, and once we have one in Westchester County and 3 in the 5 boroughs of New York.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's going to be I-84 to Roscoe is going to be our market.
Correct.
So Carl, back to the campgrounds, how many total campsites do we have there?
Well, I also forgot to mention one more of the levels of camping.
This guy's in charge of logistics, but go ahead.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
We also have a premier tent-only camping.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Now, this is just like the car camping on the other side of the road, the same 30 by 30 square, except it's on the pavilion side. Okay. So it has all the amenities of the pavilion camping, being able to walk in and out whenever you'd like. Being up there, there's white glove service up there. You get your car parked for you. There's valet.
Do people bring you drinks?
No, they don't bring you drinks. But you're allowed to bring drinks.
I have Eric Francis' number. I got to talk to him about this because, I mean, if we could have, kind of like the old diner routine, where people will come up to your car and
absolutely
and be like,
roller skates.
Hey, it might be tough with the roller skates, but they come up to your car and say, hey, hi, how you doing? Let me see your IDs, blah blah. All right, and then they come back and bring you some food, and that'd be quite the service.
All right, so now we have the Premier Tent Camping.
Premier Tent Camping, and that runs around $150 to $175.
Now, do you bring your own tent?
You bring your own tent.
Okay.
No bed tax on that.
No bed tax on that.
No, you do not get
bring
bed
your own
tax.
tents. Now, but if you have a 4-person tent, that $150 is split 4 ways.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's
2 ways.
It's reasonable.
2 ways.
It could be 2 ways.
Yeah.
Could be 2 ways.
Well, we'll see how the concert goes.
See how the concert goes. All right. So how many total campsites do we have?
Well, we have a different permit when it comes to festivals. For festivals, we're allowed to open a lot more of our fields.
Really?
Yeah, it's a different permit by the town.
Town of Bethel.
Yeah, I don't know if permit's the right word to use, but
no, it's a permit.
It's a permit. Okay, all right, good.
Yeah, it's a special use permit.
So,
or a non-permit.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
either way.
On regular shows, we have about 650 campsites.
Wow.
So I mean, you're talking about it could be 1,500 people.
Yeah.
That's
and
impressive.
On those transient shows, the festivals, the ones where we have multiple day longs, we go up to about 800 to 1,000 campsites when we get to open all of our fields up.
And they're full.
Last year during Fish, we were almost at capacity.
Wow. That's great.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's tremendous. And the bed tax revenue is rolling in.
Wow. That is impressive.
So, all right. So now takes us to tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, we've got a big announcement at Bethel Woods. The Beatles are going to be opening at Bethel Woods.
Well, there's only 2 of them left. I don't know if you know that, Mike.
Well, all right. So 2 of them got exterminated.
Okay.
All right. So Beatles are. Carl, tell us about the big announcement at Bethel Woods tomorrow, 4:30.
The big announcement at 4:30, Bethel Woods, we put in a disc golf course. It is a big amenity. I'm a huge disc golfer.
I saw you on a little TikTok video.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You saw me on social media. They posted me all over. I'm famous now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are introducing a disc golf course. I've been playing for 8 years. I've been trying.
8 years, really?
I've been playing for 8 years. Yeah. Ever since I got in my motorcycle accident and I lost partial use of my left arm, I couldn't play golf anymore. So this was a way for me to still play golf. It's one-armed,
Yeah.
So I started playing, and I've always been saying, like, this is a great facility for a disc golf course. It's low maintenance. We've been talking, and I've been trying to get it, and it never truly came to fruition until I had this wonderful PowerPoint, and I brought it into Eric Francis' office, and I sat him down, and I explained myself and showed him pictures and how it's a growing sport, and he caved, and we got a disc golf course. We were sponsored by Innova, which is the biggest disc golf brand in the country.
All right.
And they gave us all the baskets, and we.
No. How's disc golf work?
Yeah, tell us about disc golf, because Rob, I was just thinking. I hear disc golf. Not really sure what that is. I don't know whether you use a driver, use a putter, what you use, and it's kind of like I'm just trying to figure out this whole water polo thing. Like, how do you get the horses out of the pool?
All right.
So tell us about disc golf.
You guys know about golf, regular golf.
A little bit, yeah.
It is the exact same rules. We go off of pars. You tee off from a tee box. There's holes.
So in golf, you have a driver, you have your fairway woods, you've got your putter.
Same thing in disc
really
golf.
Snazzy shoes.
You do have waterproof snazzy shoes for disc golf.
Okay.
Because sometimes you're in mud.
So when we're talking about disc golf, we're talking about what in the common parlance we call frisbees.
Sure.
But
frisbees.
they're not frisbees.
They're not frisbees.
Discs.
They fly very different from frisbees.
Yeah.
They're heavier, they're thicker. They're meant to be thrown a lot harder and to handle the wind
and more direct. Right?
And more direct.
Because a frisbee's goal is to catch air and then you catch height,
if they're supposed to be, they're light so you can catch them.
Yeah.
These you wouldn't want to catch one of my drives. It would hurt.
It would hurt.
Yeah.
So do you have discs that are driver discs?
Absolutely.
And fairway discs? Tell us about it.
So there are 3 main styles. There's the driver, the mid-range, and the putter. But within those categories, there's hundreds and hundreds of different molds, and they all fly a little different. Very similar to like why you would have a 4-iron and a 7-iron. They're both irons, but they both do a very different job.
Yeah, correct.
And same thing goes for disc golf, and that's why. In my disc golf bag, I have 22 discs.
22 discs.
I have 22 discs, and it's always on me at all times, and they all fly a little different, and I know exactly when to throw them.
So you're going around, and how big are these courses?
So the courses
are they 5,000 yards? Like
it varies.
Okay.
It varies so much. I mean, you can have a disc golf course that you don't walk more than 400 yards.
Okay.
But you have other ones that are big, wide open 18-holers like over at Warwick, and that's a couple mile hike. I mean, and it's constant going up the hills, down the hills.
It's not Van Cortlandt, but I get what you're saying.
Well, it's not Van Cortlandt.
Van Cortlandt.
And you've played actually in a couple of multi-day tournaments.
I have. I've only played in one, and it was up in Tunkanunk, Pennsylvania. I think I'm saying that right.
Mm-hmm.
And
no one here would know that.
I did fairly well. I got 3rd place. It was my first tournament.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
And I haven't been back. I really do need to go back.
Now, are you guys going to do tournaments at Bethel Woods? Or
The course is homologated for the PDGA, the Professional Disc Golf Association. So we can hold tournaments there.
But it's your first year.
It's our first year. We're working it in.
Yeah.
You know, we might want to add a back 9. Right now, it's only 9 holes.
Okay.
All right, so that was my next question. Take us through. Okay, so we understand what disc golf is. People call it frisbee golf, but it's disc. The discs are different because they're not made to be caught. They're made to be thrown.
Made to be thrown. And thrown hard.
And what are they thrown into?
They're thrown into, it's essentially like a basket, and there's chains hanging down, and you try to hit the chains, and it catches the disc and drops it into the basket.
Okay.
If it's in the basket, you're in the hole, just like in golf.
Okay, so we understand a little bit about the game, and if people wanted to know more about the game, if their curiosity is piqued, are there some websites out there where people can look up about the game?
I would advise everyone to go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube, look up how to play disc golf.
You could watch Ian Sullivan on YouTube as well.
And if you're there, you want to be sure to
smash
that like button.
Like and subscribe.
There you go.
So I look on YouTube, just search in how to play disc golf, and you will see a very good video from Innova, people that sponsored our course.
All right, so this is a championship caliber course. It's only 9 holes right now. Tell us about the course.
So the course was designed by one of the best course designers in the country. He actually has a course that's in the top 5 rated courses in the country.
Oh, wow.
And it's Warwick over there. His name is Steve Brinster. He was a 2013 U.S. disc golf champion, and he's now is full-time course designer, and he came out, and Nova sent him out there to design the course for free.
So he walks the ground. And
he walked the ground. He said, "This is a beautiful tree. Let's put a basket right here." And he has a certain eye that I don't have. I mean, I've played a bunch of courses. I even designed a bunch of courses at Bethel Woods.
Oh, wow.
But he's been doing it his whole life, and so he can.
Hey, Jacob, have you ever played disc golf?
Yeah.
All right, so our producers
There
play
you go.
disc golf too.
It's a growing sport, but we have a high caliber course designer came out and designed our course.
Wow.
And right now it's a 9-hole course, but we have we have 2 tee pads per hole, so you can play the shorts and then go back around and play the long.
So there's like a blue tees, white tees. Situation. Okay.
We have, I think it's maroon and blue,
Okay.
and the maroon is a more beginner, and then the blue is for the intermediate and experienced players.
Okay.
So take us around Bethel Woods. Take us where does the disc golf course take us? What historical points of interest around the Bethel Woods property?
Well, it starts going down the historic 1969 Woodstock Festival field.
All right.
Wow.
You start right at the top of it, and you throw down it. And it is breathtaking when you're up at the top of this course. And I've always wanted to throw a disc down it, and now I can do it whenever I want. So it starts there, and it breaks off towards the right, kind of going towards our pavilion camping, our glamping. We want it to be an amenity for them.
Sure.
So it goes around there, loops back up. People probably don't know it's a new road called Sweetwater, but everyone knows it as the pine trees around the back.
Okay.
A lot of people use it for a bathroom, but that's where the course is going to be. It's beyond those pine trees in those fields.
Okay.
So,
and now are you guys gonna extend that to if this goes well?
If this goes really well, my plan is to put another back 9, and I'll put the next 9 on the other side of the road.
Okay.
For the other campground. So if someone really wanted to play both courses, they could, or if they're just in the one campground, they could play this, and
that'd be ideal.
They could play that one. Yeah. So that's the plan.
And then down the road, if you had tournaments and stuff like that, and non-concert weekends, I mean that would be an ideal situation.
I've been to Now I went to a professional disc golf tournament before up in Massachusetts at Maple Hill, and their campground was full.
Wow.
It was full. I stayed in an Airbnb 20 minutes down the road.
Wait. They're having events to fill.
Wait a minute. What town was this in?
This was, it's Maple Hill Disc Golf Course. It's in Massachusetts. I'm not exactly sure what town it was in.
And other than for the disc golf tournament, have you visited that town other than that?
No, that
wow.
was
So it was the
I'm
event that
shocked.
brought you to the town.
yeah.
That is just crazy to me.
That's a concept that I just don't understand. That an event would bring people to a town that they wouldn't normally be in. Wow, crazy. All right, so
Who would ever think of that
yeah.
concept?
So-
Maple Hill, you said?
Maple Hill.
So we have the possibility that Eric Francis, through his leadership, could open that facility up on non-concert days to a tournament situation.
Absolutely.
And they've done it before because they have they had some other races on the there, didn't they? Have the Survivor Series
they have
races
the-
Spartan
there?
races.
Spartan races.
Spartan races.
Which I think is crazy.
and that's coming back again this year. I
Yeah.
ran it last year. Yep.
Yeah, no, they pack them in there.
Oh yeah. And,
Yeah.
and we had a bunch of people camp last year for the Spartan race.
Really?
Yeah.
And because we've built this facility to championship standards, it really would open up the possibility that you could have even amateur tournaments.
Amateur tournaments for sure. I would love one day to host a professional disc golf tournament.
But you need
at
18
Bethel.
distinct
You
holes.
need 18 holes, that's for sure. You need 18 to have that.
Now,
Oh, look at that.
what is the cost if somebody wanted to go out there and play? How do they go out there and play?
Well, the course for one is not open during show days.
Right.
It'll be closed on show days. There's just too much traffic going around.
Except the performers, if they want to.
The performers, if they wanted to play, they can come and they can play. And if you are a camper, you can even play the course. We just don't want
The general public.
general public going around in the backfield
Sure.
on a show day.
Mm-hmm.
But on a non-show day, anybody can come and it's free to play. From 10 a.m. to dusk, you can come and you can play disc golf for free.
So does that mean now that your hours will start at dusk and go to 10 a.m. the next morning? Because I assume that between 10 a.m. and dusk, you'll be playing disc golf.
Yeah.
I'll be playing disc golf. Well, it's hard to play disc golf at night, but you can.
Oh, it is.
You can. There's glow discs. You can.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I've played at night before.
So this is a facility that Bethel Woods is opening to the public for free.
Free.
Oh, this is going to be free.
It's free.
See, I mean, that's my whole point. I mean, people get down on Bethel Woods sometimes
Right.
about ticket price. But they're running a facility, right?
Yeah.
And they have to pay for that
And it's a
facility.
first-class facility.
Absolutely, first class. But now there's a lot of things that they give back to the community also. And
Bed tax for one.
For one bed, sales tax another.
Right.
And now we have a situation like this where I think that's pretty impressive that they're doing this.
Oh, it's tremendous. And as I said, obviously anything that the Garys are involved with, particularly, as long as Alan is still around and healthy, it's going to have a large community component to it. Obviously, we all know that he's given so much back to the community over many, many years that it doesn't surprise me that it has not taken on, Bethel Woods has never taken on that corporate
Never.
mentality where we're here to see what we can get from the county.
Correct.
It's always a give back.
I agree.
So we've got now camping open. Campground's open now, or they open Memorial Day?
We'll open Memorial Day.
And now you stay open till the fall?
We're gonna stay open till early October.
Early October.
Okay. All right. And then the disc golf, will that be open after tomorrow's big announcement?
It'll be open after tomorrow's big announcement. Tomorrow
Okay.
at 4:30, anybody can come and play after then. And the disc golf course will stay open as long as our grounds stay open, and they stay open right till January 1st.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Well,
impressive.
yeah. And so what's planned in terms of the concert season this year at Bethel Woods?
We got a ton of really cool guests this year. Our first one being Dave Matthews Band, and then a couple days later, Luke Bryan.
Wow.
A lot of
I saw both of them in concert, and both of them were great.
they're fantastic.
Yeah.
We really have quite a star-studded lineup this year. We don't have as many shows as we've had in the past. No festivals this year, which I'm happy about, being the campground manager.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of really cool shows coming. The Black Keys, Def Leppard.
Def Leppard. I think your father was listening to them.
If-
Did you have a Def Leppard shirt? when
I
you
did
were-
not.
Okay.
I did not. I was never a heavy metal guy.
Because it's
I
better.
didn't
to
have a
burn out
Metallica
than
shirt
burn away.
either.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
No Metallica shirt, no Kiss shirt.
No,
Okay, no, I was just trying.
Just,
just George Strait.
Yeah,
That's
just
all he had.
George Strait. Yeah.
George Strait.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have a Tony Bennett T-shirt either, though. So let's just knock down that as we start.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about who else is coming. We have
Darius
Avril
Rucker
Lavigne.
coming?
Darius Rucker's not coming.
All right.
He knows he's one of my favorites.
Yep.
Um,
And now is it a heavy country influence again this year?
we try to separate it, but I'd say honestly this year we're going for more of the early 2000s punk rock kind of thing.
Really?
We have Jimmy Eat World and the Offspring coming. Avril Lavigne is coming. Blink-182.
Wow.
I think that's
Blink-182 is going to be a big one.
Blink-182 is going to be huge.
My grandchildren are coming from Blink-182.
Is that true?
They are. Well,
Wow.
they'll be staying with
Yeah.
Grandpa, though. Probably not Grandma, though, because Grandma, I think, is planning on going to the concert.
Wow.
So
Wow.
no, so that will be terrific. So it's exciting things happening at Bethel Woods. You know, that facility came in and they got going with the concerts, and now with a visionary like Eric Francis in charge over there, they've just continued to grow. And the whole camping concept, he's created a business plan, and he's created something for everyone. You can literally sleep in your car, have your friends pitch a tent, right on up to luxury camping.
So now I've lived in Bethel, since it started. I mean, since the whole thing started there. Since literally, since Max rented out his field.
I think that when your family came to Bethel, Washington was not yet president.
My wife's family and my children's family, that is correct.
Yeah.
They were not present yet. I was talking with that about my brother-in-law, and we were talking about the Smallwood Civic Association and how people stand up and say, "Hey, I've lived here this long," and my wife's like, that doesn't make you right,
right?
and then they would say something to her, and she's like, "Oh, okay, we've been here since the 1700s. I don't know what to tell you, right? I mean, that doesn't make me right,
right.
about what we're talking about." And as you know, you read my deed, and I'm not allowed to go fishing on Tuesdays. So I can go fishing today.
But you could bring your motorboat out there.
I'm allowed to bring my motorboat. But no fishing on Tuesdays, Carl. So if you wanted to go fishing,
he's a big fisherman now.
No, Frank Ballard said that we weren't allowed to go fishing.
Not on Tuesday.
Not on Tuesdays, which I don't understand why that was, but.
Now the campgrounds actually are right by the famous skinny dipping pond.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. And this year we're actually going to have a hiking trail that goes down to the naked swimming pond.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Is that what you call it? The naked swimming pond?
It's called Filippini, but
okay.
we like to call it no bikini. Yeah. No.
That's hilarious.
All right, so as we were saying, it's so good to hear. First of all, now I'm not completely objective here, but when we see a facility that hires high school people,
correct,
and then they have a facility that they can grow in and have a full-time job. You've got some more local people that all work there full-time.
Oh yeah,
they started there in high school. So again, even as far as that goes, we talk about, there's nothing keeping our young people, our kids here, when they get into their 20s and 30s.
No, but there are facilities.
There are. I mean, for my family, 1 out of our 3 boys has been able to stay here and make a career here. And it's a facility where he can grow. So we've got the different levels of camping. There's something for everyone. We've now got the disc golf that gets added in, and that's just something to bring people to the facility, to be part of that facility and enjoy. It's free. There's a grand opening press conference announcement tomorrow at 4:30. I'm going to invite all of our audience to head out there and try your hand at disc golf and see how you make out with that.
So now you can go there, right? And then, so the weekend after Memorial Day, there's no concert, blah, blah, and you go out there, and you can bring your family with you, right? It's
Yep.
family friendly.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
All right, and so then you can go hiking, and you can go one of the nights you can catch a concert maybe, and then you can go play disc golf. So there's plenty to do.
And not only that, but we have lawn games. We have a volleyball net.
Oh, wow, look at
have
this.
Cornhole, ladder toss, can jam, a lot of things for the kids to do.
So it's not just for adults. I mean,
It's very family friendly.
Oh,
So
that's
where's the cornhole courses?
Cornhole, it's not as spread out as the disc golf course. It's usually right next to our fire pit areas.
Okay.
All right.
So
People can play. We love to play cornhole.
Sure.
and they're ward boards made in Warwick, and they're professional grade. They're really nice.
I mean,
boards.
let me tell you, I don't care who you are. If you've ever been athletic at all in your life, I mean, you stand there and then you're like, oh, I could do that. And then you start going, and then next thing you know, I mean.
And if you've ever been athletic, then you know that. Well, the first time that I played, we started off playing at about 8 o'clock at night, and finally at 3 o'clock in the morning we came off because you're right. I mean, people, you look at you're tossing a beanbag into a hole. It gets very competitive. And it's great, and it's like disc golf. It's a sport that certainly requires skill, but it doesn't require a level as a beginner to where you can't have fun playing. I mean, if you've never played golf, and we've seen people who've never played golf, it's painful. They can't really get out there.
It's tough.
But disc golf, you're not going to be real good, but you can go out there and have a good time. And cornhole, the same thing. You can toss a beanbag, and it's great. And it's great to hear that Bethel Woods has those, and those are part of the campgrounds.
Yes.
So you couldn't go on there and just walk on and play cornhole one day.
You couldn't just walk on and play cornhole. You can't just walk on and play volleyball. The disc golf course is the only thing that's available to the public.
But you're allowed to walk on there and just play disc golf.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you've got to have your own discs.
You got to have your own discs. However, Bethel Woods is now going to be an authorized Innova dealer. So we will have discs for sale in the museum store. We even have a special commemorative Bethel Woods disc.
Oh, wow, that's
nice.
nice.
Has a peace sign on it, and it says, "This is the place where peace happened." And
you were talking about you have the marketing edge on peace.
Oh yeah,
love and peace. All right,
yeah, we love
good.
peace and love.
So we'll have to get a look at that. I'm sure that it'll be in your bag if it's not already in your bag.
It's not already in my bag. I didn't steal from Bethel Woods yet, but I should have brought one with me.
Well, with that employee discount now, you'll be able to get Nova discs right there.
That's right.
Will they have a full variety? So if somebody wanted to go and get a mid-range disc and then decide, hey, if I had a driver, if I had a putter, it would be better?
So I'm the one who picked out the discs. I did try to pick a nice variety of discs for everybody. Some people like their disc to turn a little more, some don't. So I got a bunch of different discs, but I wasn't allowed to get my full order that I wanted. I put in this pretty big order, and my boss was like, "You're crazy. We do not need 500 discs." So I shortened the order down. But you do. And the more people that come and buy will then give me ammo to say, hey, look how many people are buying discs. We need to get more.
Nothing would
get more variety.
Nothing would be better than by Labor Day to be out of discs.
Yeah.
I mean that would be
the best thing would be to be run out of discs tomorrow afternoon
at 4:35.
Yeah.
Now, and there's other disc golf courses in the county. There's one at Walnut Mountain, in Liberty, where there's a league actually.
That's right. I started the Walnut Disc Golf League about 5 years ago. It's still running strong. This year we run at Sundays at 10 a.m. It's pretty early, but if you can come out and make it, show on down.
Oh, I will never be there.
Did he use the words 10 a.m. and really early in the same sentence?
He did.
It is.
He's talking to the wrong guy.
It's on Sunday, guys.
Okay. Oh, all right.
I sleep until
So now, do they sell discs at Walnut Mountain?
They do not sell discs at Walnut
So
Mountain.
we've got a situation now where people that want to get involved in this sport, they've got a couple of places they can play in the county, and now they have a place where they can go and buy quality discs because you can't buy them in Walmart.
The closest place to buy them is Dick's in Middletown.
There you go.
If you lived here.
All right.
Or Bethel Woods.
Or Bethel Woods
now.
Yeah.
And they're
as of,
reasonably priced.
In about
So
24 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
That's ideal.
Well, that's terrific. I'm sure it's going to be an exciting year. All these changes. We're
This is
happy
great.
to have you come in here. gives me an opportunity to see my son when I'm here at work. Makes it all good.
There you go.
And to hear about what's been going on at Bethel Woods. And we want to thank Eric Francis for all that he's done for the community and for being the visionary to bring these types of activities into this facility. And let's face it, when the concert started in 1969, there was a whole lot more going on there than concerts. So that's great. Rob?
Well, the funny thing about that is that most of the locals were not very happy about that. And the reason why Mr. Yasgur leaves shortly after the concert is because people stopped buying his milk.
That is correct.
And so they leave. And when I first met my wife, the former Miss Kathleen Crumley, so that was in 1993. And my father-in-law was involved in politics. If you even mentioned,
it was the third rail.
If you mentioned Woodstock, I mean, the election was over. I mean, it was over.
Yeah, if you were running for office and talked about Woodstock.
Keep in mind, it was just an empty field. I remember one year when my father-in-law was highway superintendent, they blocked off, on West Shore Road, they blocked off Hurd Road so that people couldn't go. They lit it on fire.
Oh, yeah.
They used to have like these impromptu concerts there, and then the owner was putting chicken feces on there.
That's right.
And it was crazy town. And then Mr. Gary's family got involved in that, and like we said, everything was first class with him, and loves giving back to the community. He's done it for 50 years now, and they made it longer than 50 years now, and really made it a first class facility.
Well, once again, we took one of the most significant events, certainly of that century, that occurred right here in Sullivan County, and we disavowed it. It would be like Gettysburg saying, "What? There was a skirmish here?
So
I know nothing about it.
So
Not here."
I've been all over the country.
Sure.
Okay, and when I try to explain where I live, say, "Have you ever heard of Woodstock?"
Right.
They say yes, and I say I live about 4 miles from the site.
It's
really just that simple. I mean, it's like, you've ever heard? Okay, I live like 4 miles from that site.
Unfortunately, Sullivan County isn't a very popular place, and you go anywhere else. You say Sullivan County, you say Monticello, no one knows what you're talking about. You say Woodstock,
correct.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
And my father-in-law used to talk about it before the Garys got involved in it, and he used to say, if we had Niagara Falls, we would dam it up.
And that's exactly right. I mean, for so many years, when I came here in 1989 to go to the college, I remember saying at a Chamber of Commerce meeting that I was addressing them in their breakfast, and it's so exciting. We're going to bring championship basketball. You've got the site of the Woodstock Festival is right here in the county. We really can bring some notoriety. And they were like, don't talk about that Woodstock thing. Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So obviously it starts with the Garys. It's being continued, that tradition now, with the Garys' leadership by Eric Francis, and then lots of young people that are keeping it fresh and keeping exciting things.
And every year they seem to be adding something else, and I mean I think that's great for the county.
It's terrific. So we know you're busy. You open up next weekend. Dave Matthews Band is coming to town.
He packs them in.
He'll pack them in, and they might be flying in. People will be flying into the airport to enjoy our new terminal with new restaurant facilities and pilot rest areas. So there are some exciting things happening. The seeds were sown under your leadership.
The county's on the move.
It's on the move. So we'd like to remind everybody to, when you're watching on YouTube, we mentioned it before, you want to be sure to
smash
that like button. And when you're watching or listening on Spotify, you want to be sure to subscribe. Subscribing is critical to the development of Ion Sullivan. And as you see, we're trying to hit all points of interest around the county. We're bringing in, today we bring in a little bit of information about Bethel Woods. Eventually, later on another show, we'll have Eric Francis here. We've had politicians here.
I mean, we'll have the supervisor of Bethel here.
We'll have the supervisor of Bethel. We'll have other supervisors. We'll see if we can get the supervisor from other towns, maybe some of the river towns.
Sure.
Could come up here. We want to try to truly allow you to keep an eye on what's happening here in Sullivan.
Correct.
So subscribe. So you get an alert on your phone when we've got a new show that's dropped. We had our hiatus for a couple of weeks, so we're going to be good now. And then leave us a comment. Tell us, geez, we want to hear about something else going on in the county that we're not aware of.
Correct.
You got a guest that you want to bring on. Let us know. That's how we get that. That's how this becomes your show. And then also share the link. Put it up on your pages. Put it up on
You know how to
your
do that, right,
sites.
Cole?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
all right, all right,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. So now we'll have maybe a new part of the audience to show that we're going to bring in the future of Sullivan County.
There you go.
The future of Sullivan County will be able to listen today, and what we're really hoping is that we reward Eric Francis for his idea, and we bring people into Bethel Woods. We get them playing disc golf. We get them buying discs there, buying food, camping. Camping can be done other than on concert nights now, so people that are listening and watching us from out of the area, you can come up to Bethel Woods. You can get a nice camping area and go enjoy the river, go enjoy the different areas, enjoy the Harvest Fest, right? You
Sure.
got to camp during Harvest Fest
yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
We don't want to rush through the summer, but Harvest Fest will be there.
It hasn't even started yet, and it's over,
Hasn't
right?
even started yet. It's almost like it's over.
Sky.
So on behalf of the chairman, Rob Doherty, this is Mike McGuire. I want to thank you for joining us for this episode of Eye on Sullivan. We'll be back next week. Carl, thanks for taking the time to come over.
Thank you guys.
And we will be back next week with another edition of Eye on Sullivan. Have a great week, folks.